Hi, I'm Marshall from Ask Marsh, and today on the Logistics Technology Decision Mind Map, we're going to talk about the option of not changing. Because I'm independent and I don't make money out of you buying new software, this is something I'm happy to let you talk about doing. Happy to think what would happen if we choose not to change, because sometimes the reason that we're choosing to introduce new technology or junk an old piece and hope for a better solution is to fix other problems in the company. So it's important that when we're looking at the decision to change, really look at what problem you're trying to fix, and is just something bright and shiny and new and potentially more expensive actually going to make things easier for you or not. So putting that aside, don't change is sometimes, it should be better described as don't change now, because eventually everything does wear out and everything does need to be replaced. So what I really want to look at is when you've make the decision not to change, or when you're looking at the cost benefit analysis of changing, there is a cost to not changing. And one of those costs is the fact, because of whatever you're doing is going to run out, at some stage in the future, you're going to have to replace it. It's either because it's going to fail completely, particularly more likely with hardware, or the software itself may no longer be supported by your software vendor. So essentially it's failed because it's not going to work for you anymore. So looking at those things, you need to put a budget in place. What's going to happen if we have to do it in the future? You also have to look at the disaster recovery side of it. If you decide to keep old hardware or old software, it's more likely to fail, which means you need a really, really good plan B in place, especially if you're coming to end of life, end of support, and whatever else. So when you're doing the maths, budgeting for, we're going to have to put some money aside anyway, because we're going to have to change at some stage in the future anyway, and just be aware that your decision not to change is just a decision not to change now. As I said, it's a perfectly acceptable and reasonable thing to do. Sometimes we don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater as well, and there might be reasons to keep that in place. But from purely a financial point of view, we're not going to change now, we are going to have to change in the future. Let's make sure we accrue, let's make sure we put some money aside for disaster recovery, just in case something happens. And even just in case having that, what's going to be the cost if such and such is taken offline for a period of time. So when you decide not to change, or when you're looking at whether or not we should change, just bear those additional costs in mind that might be a cost of doing business. I'm Marshall from Ask Marsh. I help companies make logistics technology decisions. You can find more information at askmarsh.com. Bye for now.